Leigh, why don't you tell us what's up with Dante and Nero and all of the shenanigans that they're getting into?
Um, right, Devil May Cry 5 is kind of walking back for layman. Kind of, they'll dive into Devil May Cry. It's the fifth game in the main series, but there's six games. It's a shift from the last one because they did a reboot by Ninja Theory instead of
Hmm.
being Japanese in house. So it's kind of Ninja Theory did the last one.
Yeah, that one was
Um,
just called DMC, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of it was kind of rebooted and kind of a little bit more. Whereas the previous ones are quite a lot more obviously Japanese Capcom-y, kind of classic, slightly cheesy. The last one was a little bit more kind of edgy, I guess. It's a bit kind of
A little
wake up,
more.
dickhead. It's time for DMC. Sort of saying double fingers in the air,
Yeah.
like bruh.
Um,
Um, but it
there's a
had
little
a lot
more,
of
little
really
more
good gameplay.
attitude.
It was a little bit more I don't want to say
Emo.
Yeah, it was a little bit more attitudey.
Yeah.
This has come in, and it's a mixture of both in a weird way because there's still that sort of strange kind of edge that they brought in with DMC, but with the gameplay from the previous ones, which is very much like if you was to put a tournament fighter like a street fight into a big kind of open but scrolling environment.
Okay.
So it's very combo based and
Yeah.
kind of skill tree based, mixture between gun combat and sword combat, and you juggle between the two in kind
Right,
of
like the gun are the guns mostly used to keep your combos going, or are they like real effective weapons at taking enemies out? Because that's what my experience has been, is like it's with Devil May Cry is like the guns are there, but it's more to like keep your flow going more than actually lay damage out on enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chain from one set of skill sets to the other.
Right.
The difference between this one is there's a lot more characters in this that do a lot more than they used to do.
Okay.
So usually the series are based around Dante, which is kind of sword-based combat with the guns. Then you have Nero, who has an arm that gives him a lot of different, like a detachable arm. That gives him a lot of different kind of abilities you can chain with that, which gives you like a scorpion type, like Mortal Kombat that tugs you into people, so that can open up different things.
Okay.
This one you have a third character, which is called V, which is he is the floppy fringe, tattoos up the arms and long coat type effort going on.
Speaking
but
of
he's actually
emo,
quite interesting. He's kind of, you don't actually really fight with him. He casts out one of three beings, or like two or three. You can have three at some point, but like two or three beings at any one time, you get a kind of a bird type thing and a leopard type thing, and they do the fighting for you because he can't really fight because he's wounded. He's got a stick, but once you cast those,
he stabs people with his brooding stare.
he does, but he's still in the game when, as it were, when you go out and you set your creatures out. So you have to juggle fighting with your extra creatures, plus keeping him in the game and moving him around without actually really engaging in the combat. So you've got to work on two levels when you're using him, kind of two different mindsets of, and he'll do stuff like read poetry.
Is that
cast?
Of course, yeah.
Cast, yeah. Cast
is that
spells and shit.
Is that a satisfying system? Is that did you enjoy that part of it?
I'm not sure whether it's satisfying to start off with, not as satisfying as the other start off because it's so new to the system and it's such a different way of dealing with things.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing it's like a platinum game almost. The whole thing is the combat and keep the juggle going and keep the pyrotechnics going.
Stylish action.
Yeah. So being not a part of that is strange, but once you get into it, it's probably one of the more interesting new elements of the game.
Okay, that's good.
So, yeah, it's very good. It's incredibly good. It's one of those games where you will hear, if you're not really au fait with him, if you kind of have a kind of surface knowledge of it, you hear it's this tough, hardcore kind of real kind of moves based game.
Yeah.
But it's based almost like a Resident Evil, which has a score system, kind of, which is B to A or D to A, and then you get an S tier.
Yeah.
And this has the same thing, but it does it on a much shorter level, so it does it on kind of level per level basis, as opposed to getting it at the end of the game.
Okay, yeah.
You can easily button mash and go through and top out at A's all the way through, but you're rewarded for your S ranks, and then you're rewarded for your double S ranks, then triple S ranks.
And what are you rewarded
with? It's accessible. Upgrade orbs, which then go into you because you can keep buying new moves, new weapons, upgradable weapons, new powers, new stats upgrades.
Okay.
You have a character in it's called Nico. I don't know if you've seen in the footage. She runs around in a van
in the Devil May Cry van
into the scene. Yeah, and it's like, hi guys, and it's like everybody else is collapsing around you, but she's finding her van. You can dip into there every level and kind of, or between levels, which I'm not sure you could do before, because I don't remember 4 very well. Didn't like 4 very much, but so you now have this ability to go and kind of tune yourself in between, kind of in between beginning and the end of levels. So
tune yourself, so like
constantly
upgrade?
grinding for orbs. Sorry,
but you said tune yourself.
Yeah, tune yourself up. Yeah, just keep kind of adding your new weapons and your new. Yeah, you get more than one boltable arm for Nero, for instance. So you can either use it as part of your gameplay, or you can shoot it at them. But then it's a spendable weapon, so you can fire them out and blow people up with them, or electrocute them, depending on what it is.
Okay.
So then it's another projectile thing, but it's definitely kind of accessible if you want to button mash through, but you're probably not going to get, because you're rewarded at the end for S's with new orbs, which is the currency.
Yep.
So you can burn through it if you want to, or you could kind of really go for it and get into that technical thing where maybe you couldn't before, because some of it can be quite impenetrable because it's so many movesets.
So like it has it's satisfying to play at the base level, but it has a there's something there that can be mastered, is kind of okay. It's
like kind of a more expansive Bayonetta, or what Platinum have been doing for a long time.
Okay.
Kind of they have cribbed a lot probably from Devil May Cry with their kind of Bayonettas and their Metal Gear Risings and so
Metal Gear Rising and Nier Automata was kind of like that, but even a probably a more watered down version of it even. So
it kind of played itself, didn't it? I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can configure it to play itself. Yeah. But otherwise it had a lot of stuff, but there was the main part of the action was definitely kind of like the borderline stylish action hack and slash kind of deal. How's the story? Is it there, or is it just bonkers?
It is, and it's very complex, and it's kind of very weaving back through the previous games. But it does give you a good old-fashioned kind of cinematic recap at the beginning of the game. It kind of you can click on it. You don't have to sit through it if you already know. But it'll give you a recap of the whole thing, so the different kind of arcs of all the characters.
Okay.
So
and the stories, all the games connect, or
apart from DMC. DMC doesn't connect.
That's its own thing.
Yeah, they all connect from. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It looks nice. It looks very nice, like graphics wise, and all sorts of things popping off and particle effects and stuff like that. Does that hold up? Is it?
Yeah,
pretty game.
Are they using that new Capcom engine?
Is that what it is?
Which we've seen for Resident Evil, which is more. It's still quite more reality based, but this is obviously much more fantasy. It's set in London, or a facsimile of London.
Yeah.
But there's much more strange crystalline things coming out of the floor and stuff like that. So you get a different sense of texture from it. It's interesting to see how something that works with realistic textures, working with something that's really fantasy. I'd like to see what other new games they bring back that use it.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
it's
judging by
interesting
what
to
else
see the
is.
scalability of that engine. Like it can do the Resident Evil, which is, kind of slower paced and stuff like that, and then it can be ratcheted up to like something completely different kind of game with Devil May Cry, with very
Yeah.
fast, very kinetic, very third person action game versus third person shooter kind of situation.
What a methodical
Yeah.
plod, as it
Yeah.
were. Yeah, no, it does, and it keeps up with it quite well. I've only got a. It's not a base, but I've got an S. Um,
Mhm.
it chugs a little bit on the S, but if you have an X or a Pro,
Mhm.
it'll maintain that kind of fluid 60 thing that you want from a fast action game.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
haven't
quite a
heard
pliable little engine.
I haven't heard any issues on the PC either, so I'm sure that that's a good version of it as well.
Mm. But it's generally a very good game. It depends on how you kind of feel about it going in, because you're not much of a. I don't want to say you're not a fan, but it doesn't really kind of catch your eye, does it, Ryan? One of those things it just doesn't kind of. So it's kind of. I think you have to kind of know what you. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. I don't think.
No,
I don't
yeah,
think
it's I've played I've played some of the previous Devil May Cries, and it's just not for me personally not my kind of thing.
No.
But I did enjoy. I don't know which one I played. Maybe it was 3, maybe it even been 1. And I never really got into Bayonet or anything like that. So it's just
they were strange games, the earlier ones, because they were based more around the Resident Evil engine. So you had a beat 'em up context, but in a fixed perspective camera.
yeah,
it definitely works
that's
better
right,
as a modern game than it does as a classic game. I think.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
All right, sounds like Capcom back on their bullshit, but they're good bullshit. Yeah, they've been kind of knocking it out of the park recently, and that's good to see. Maybe we were just touched upon Monster Hunter last time with God Eater. We talked about Resident Evil 2, which is another winner. Resident Evil 7 was a winner. So and now we've got Devil May Cry 5, so hopefully they continue down that road with Dragon's Dogma 2.
It's been rumored. They're bubblings. I know the director wants to do it.
Yeah, so I hope they revisit that game and they give it the treatment that they're giving these other franchises.
Yeah, definitely. Be interesting to see what they come with next, because they've got kind of a lot of their classic franchises juggling in the air.
Yeah, I imagine we'll have to see Street Fighter 6 soon, and hopefully it fares better than at least the launch of Street Fighter 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Good old Capcom.
Yes, good old Capcom. Or good new Capcom.
Can't wait for you to screw it up again. We'll do another Bionic Commando.
Yeah. Well, at least they're doing better than Square Enix.